Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Daredevil Born Again, Season 1, Episode 4, Sic Semper Systema, which stands, by the way, for Thus Always to the System. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the videos pop up at the very end here. One pops up here and one pops up over here. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. With that said, let's get to it, shall we? So, spoiler alert. Yes, I am going to be spoiling the episode. If you haven't watched the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give you enough time to go away, hit pause, whatever you need to do. All that kind of good stuff. Yeah. All righty then. Yeah, this episode, of course, this is the Punisher episode where the Punisher shows up in this one. So I'm probably going to say something that's going to be a little unpopular in this one. I'm finding this too slow of a burn on this series, and it's really dragging for me. I mean, I know it's the same showrunner as the Punisher series that was on Netflix, and I'm having flashbacks to Punisher season 2, which was a dog of a season. I mean, that thing just dragged. And that's what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling the drag on this one. Yes, there are some gems in here. There's some good scenes in here. Um, and I'm thinking that's more of the writers from the Daredevil series. I mean, I know I noticed some names from the Netflix Daredevil series versus the showrunner for the Punisher Netflix Punisher series. And yeah, it seems to be dragging a bit. Here we are, we're almost halfway through the season. We're on episode 4, and um, yes, we're getting kind of, I guess you could say, kind of a heavy-handed civics lesson in the guy who Matt, is he goes to see in lockup there, who has been arrested for stealing from a bodega. He stole some caramel corn, and he's got like a huge rap sheet where he's got like 30 pages on his rap sheet. And this guy's been given, suspensions and whatnot before. And they're going to put a long suspension. He doesn't want the suspension. He really wants to just go home. And yeah, Matt can get him 10 days. That's what he can get him, basically a week. He'd have to go into jail for a week. And the guy kind of breaks it down for him. He goes, hey, every time this happens to me, he goes, I lose like food stamps. I can't go in and get food stamps. So what do I have to do? I have to go and beg for money, or I have to go beg for food, or I have to go dig in the dumpster, or I have to steal in order to eat. And then it starts the whole vicious process all over again. And that's where you kind of fall into the Latin phrase there, Sic Semper Systema. uh yeah, thus always to the system, where the system just kind of keeps grinding on no matter what. And in all of this, Matt also feels responsible for, White Tiger's death, Hector's death, and he goes to the crime scene because nothing comes out from the crime scene from the police. Obviously, they're not really looking into it all that well, and obviously they have worse forensics units than the LA did during the OJ Simpson trial. Because Matt goes there, a blind man, and finds the shell casing that he needs to find down the hill, because we all saw when White Tiger was running up kind of an incline a little bit, you could see it was on a hill. All forensics needed to do was realize that a shell casing would have rolled down the hill and into that, drainage ditch there. So he finds a shell casing that has a Punisher logo on it, and he goes to track down Frank Castle. And Frank, of course, has not been killing anybody. It's one of his admirers, most likely one of the cops that have had their little tattoos going and whatnot. And this is kind of, I don't know how much this series is actually going to touch upon the cultural phenomenon that's been going on with, cops appropriating the Punisher logo in real life, as well as in, this MCU as well. And I'm guessing they're not going to really touch upon it because it's Disney Plus, and I don't think they're going to delve that deeply into it, quite honestly. So the main crux of this part of the story was that Frank is still dealing with guilt, of his family being killed and him not being able to do anything about it. That's his guilt. And he says Matt has the same guilt because of Foggy's death and that he couldn't help Foggy. And I mean, to the point where Matt can't even say Foggy's name. And, Matt still has not dealt with his grief, has not, you know, of course, he's not being Daredevil anymore because of all of this. So we're still spinning our heels again on this. And not really dealing with it's bad writing, quite honestly, in a way that it's not dealing with the problem, but kind of bringing little parts of the problem to light, I guess you could say. And in better hands, I think this could have been handled a lot better, this series, quite honestly. It just seems kind of ham-fisted and a little bit clunky, is what I'm getting at here. On the opposite side, we have Fisk and, we've got Wilson and Vanessa, Kingpin and Vanessa, in therapy with Matt's girlfriend, of course, being the therapist for them. And we find out that both of them have not seen Adam, supposedly. We know this is going to be a lie, obviously, because at the end of this, we see Fisk has Adam in a cage, and we don't know what he's doing with him. Is he torturing him? Is he just caged him up and not letting him go anywhere? Does Vanessa know about this? We don't know if Vanessa knows about this. We also see that the Stark painting that we saw in season 1 of Daredevil, I believe is what it was, with some blood smeared across it a little bit. And Fisk kind of dealing with, does he want to still be the Kingpin? Does he want to be mayor? Because he's not equipped to be mayor, quite honestly. He doesn't realize the red tape involved, the bureaucracy involved, and he doesn't like that. He wants to get to the point, he wants to deal with it with lead pipe cruelty, basically, is what it is. Kind of like he did as the Kingpin. And he's being stymied in this, and he is trying to, it looks like he's trying to learn something new, but we all know that his old self is coming through in all of this as well. And it's the same thing for Matt. Yeah, he's eventually going to become Daredevil again. We already know this. I'm going to make some predictions right now. Oh, and by the way, we also got to see Muse. Muse is the serial killer with the white mask with the blood streaks. So Muse from the comics is a serial killer that uses his victims' blood to paint murals, if you will, paintings. And yeah, we already know that it's the kid from the very first episode that was talking to Matt's girlfriend at her book signing. And I can tell you what's going to happen now, because I'm going to make my predictions right now, since we're at basically the midway point of season 1. Muse is going to kill Matt's girlfriend, which is going to drive him to become Daredevil again. He's going to find Muse, pretty much almost beat him to death, but probably not going to beat him to death. But Frank's going to finish him off. Frank is going to kill him, uh, thus keeping Matt's hands clean. But in all of this, somehow Kingpin is going to kind of have to reemerge, if you will, and uh, Matt again is going to take him down in a way that's going to be public, and to the point where Wilson is going to out Matt as Daredevil, or Matt's going to out himself as Daredevil, and to the public, because that's where we're heading with all of this as well. So in the end of all this, Matt's girlfriend's going to die at the hand of Muse. Daredevil's going to come back. Punisher's going to kill again. Kingpin is going to become Kingpin again and go to jail. And like I said, I believe Matt Murdock's identity is going to become public to the point where he's going to end up going to jail with Fisk. And that's where we're going to get season 2, which is a classic comic storyline as well, with Daredevil being in jail with the Kingpin. And that's where I see this all heading. Like I said, this season is not going well for me in all of this, just because it's slow and it's clunky, and you can see that it was again put together hastily. I know there was, even John Bernthal said the initial, when they reached out to him initially to reprise the role of the Punisher, he was actually supposed to have more of a starring role in this Daredevil Born Again. And they switched the script pretty much almost entirely. So they rewrote this whole story and then filmed it because they had a deadline to this. And this is where the MCU gets hurt in all of this stuff, is having a deadline, and instead of having your script finalized, but having a deadline already put in place and going, okay, May 4th is when we're going to, when we're having this premiere here, get to it. And we need to have it done by May 4th. And the storyline doesn't work. You have to scrap what you're doing, and then you have to redo the storyline, but you still have to stick to the timeline of coming out on May 4th, even though the storyline sucks or gets rewritten. And yeah, that's just not good. You need to have a good script first, and a finalized script first, something that actually works and that everyone kind of agrees upon, and then go from there. I think this whole thing with the haphazardness of these scripts is really, really, really hurting the MCU. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, we saw the same thing with Captain America, Brave New World. That whole script changed as well. And it's been happening the last couple of MCU projects where the script, it's not just rumors. We're getting confirmation from the actors that these scripts have changed drastically, and at the last minute, most likely as well. So not good. You really need to have that script finalized before you start filming. James Gunn, like for example, right now he is, head of the DCU along with Peter Seraphine, and I like what he's been doing, what he's been saying publicly. He says they're not going to commit to a timeline on something, on a movie or a TV series, until they have the finalized scripts. Superman, he had the script already. Well, he was writing the script, obviously. So once he had the script finalized, that was it. Yes, he is going to do some reshoots because, when you do test screenings and things like that, of course, you need to do some reshoots of things here and there. But he's not like redoing the entire movie or 3/4 of the movie or, a third of the movie like Captain America Brave New World did. And I've heard this for other DCU projects that are coming out. Clayface, for example, they have a finalized script, which supposedly everyone loves, and they're moving forward with that. That's what you're supposed to do. Have a finalized script, and then start your your setting up of everything. Don't try and just have a timeline set and then try and stick to it and then change everything out. Just doesn't work that way. again, I love the actors. I love the characters. It's just the pacing on this and the cohesion of the story is not really working for me. Um, it's just, yeah, it's very odd and it's off, is what's going on. Um, I really wish they would have gotten the one showrunner. I believe it was Stephen Knight. Is that right? Um, I really wish they brought him back, but of course he was working on something else at the time. Instead, they went with the Punisher, Netflix Punisher series showrunner, who I just really am not a fan of. So that's where we're at here. Um, well, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Saturday, yes, I know, Saturday of this week, I'm going to end up finally finishing off season 3 of Invincible. I know I've been talking about this. Yeah, I'm going to do the last half of the season episodes. I'll do a review of that. On Sunday, I'm going to do a review of the Electric State. I'm going to do another Is It Worth My Time? I'm going to do the Electric State there. And then, of course, next week we're going to go into Daredevil again here. And I'll find out what else I'm going to do next week as well. So I am going to be covering on, since there's kind of a little gap of things not working, not coming out just as of yet. The Bondsman, which is on Amazon Prime, it's going to be in April 3rd that comes out. And I think they're going to drop that all at once. I don't know how Amazon's going to work on that one. That's, of course, with Kevin Bacon as a bondsman who dies, goes to hell, and is tasked by the devil to bring back demons that have escaped from hell. And of course, if he fails in his task, he goes to hell. Is what's, and again, if this sounds familiar, yes, it was done in the 90s. The show was called Brimstone on Fox. So yeah, I'll be covering that to see what that's like. So, and if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, if you're on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the videos that pop up here and over here as I bump into stuff. And if you like what you see, and those guys, hit that subscribe button down below. I think it's over here. Also, if you can, like, share, and subscribe there. I'll see you again on Saturday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find, the episode of the week to be kind of lackluster more than anything else. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and stay safe out there. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you on Saturday. Have a good rest of your night. Good night.